So for eyes, I'm just gonna work on what she has because I know you're working, so I don't want you to pull everything off, right? And you woke up early for a reason this morning, my guess was. I don't want you to hate that you didn't hit the snooze button more. So we're just gonna play with a little bit of color. Again, spring and summer, we're looking at people pulling back a little bit. So we're seeing trend-wise people playing with color liner mostly to bring about playfulness and fun with their eye looks. So I am loving the new Sapphire. I mean, it is blue, you know, and for the longest time people kept asking us, we want more pigment. Well,
that's pigment.
Yeah, you're getting it. So
it reminds me of the early 90s.
And I'm loving it because the music was great, the hair was big, I was all about it. So the Sapphire is really beautiful. If that makes you nervous, our Emerald, it still has a lot of pigment, but it's just a little bit more of an olive undertone, so it's a little bit more toned down. So we have some, and then of course we have our standard, the black, the brown, the gray, and the purple. But I think these are really fun to play with. Mm-hmm. You are wearing blue, so I'm not gonna put the blue on because I'm not a matchy girl. But I am. Yeah, you're welcome. But I can't stand that. But I will play with the emerald a little bit. I'm gonna do more of a tight line today. But the beauty of the mystical is you can smudge it, you can smoke it, you can do whatever. But I'm gonna do a little bit more of a crispy kind of play on a wing, if you will, just to make it look a little bit more defined and sharp. I find when I do more defined sharp line work, I tone down the eyeshadow a little bit more. I know on Instagram they do 900 steps, but again, the average woman isn't waking up at 4 a.m. to get out of her house by 7:30, you know, so I try to keep it within the realm of that. So, hey, Miss Wendy, where'd you go? Is Mermaid up there? Cool. So.
Isn't that one of your colors, Jess?
No, I usually don't go with greens because of the color of my eyes, but I
love
the cool thing what you have on your eyes. I would love for you to do my eyes like yours.
Okay, I was gonna do that, but I try to not make my clients look like me, but unless they request it. Okay.
Awesome. I love it.
So
I'm not very fancy with my makeup. I'm kind of the natural look girl around here.
Contouring.
Not today.
So this is great.
Good. Okay, Wendy, can you grab me Merlot, please?
I'll have one too.
Yeah, me too.
So what I love about Mermaid is, when you pull it, it looks green, but when you put it on, it's straight iridescence and opal.
That's really pretty.
So you can throw that on top of any of our existing shadows and change the color profile of them. So I love putting, and I think when you show women that, they're like, oh, that's not really my thing. But putting it over a brown, because my guess is every woman you meet has a drawer full of brown eyeshadow. It's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
I'm not going to show you another brown eyeshadow. Your husband will thank me later. You know what I'm saying? So I love to show products that I can either add into what you already have or zhuzh up what you already got. So the two colors that I love to do that with is Merlot. Blends beautifully with taupes and browns and earth colors. It's a nice kind of pivot into playing with color, and it's not super scary because it's still in that kind of earth tone realm. And then I love the Mermaid because, again, you can put it over a brown, you can put it over a purple, you can put it over anything, and it just makes it cool and iridescent. So it's a fun play. If you're familiar at all with like the Urban Decay, I think it's called like the Moon Dust collection, this over any of our colors will be in sync with that collection. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Merlot. I'm going to touch up on the lid what you have. And I'm just taking this from lash line to crease. And one thing that I always tell people is when you're working with the Jane pigment, because it's true mineral pigment, you have to remember how minerals sit on the skin. They overlap each other like scales on a fish. So you'll notice that I'm stippling or pressing it more into the eye rather than windshield wiping it. That's just going to allow the mineral pigment to lay correctly and also going to reduce fallout that's going to happen. So I'm just stippling. I'm using a deluxe shader. We have a nice large eye area to work on here. If I'm working on a smaller eye, I'll definitely drop it down to my chisel shader brush, or I'm sorry, my chisel shader, I'm sorry. This is just a clean crease brush, nothing on it, just to blend out edges, make it look really soft and pretty. Open for me. Close. This is also a cool trick. I'm using Merlot, but we could have used taupe eyeshadow. It's another one that I go to when I play with Mermaid. Then you can either grab your chisel shader. I'm just going to use another deluxe shader. And I'm going to be working with my brush completely flat, and I'm just going to wiggle the mermaid on over the top. And it just starts to pull that iridescence out. Another one that you can do this trick with is with the 24 karat gold dust.
Does she?
Open for me.
On her eyes?
Perfect.
Right,
I mix the 24 karat gold dust with mermaid all the time. And I know the 24 karat gold dust, it is loose, so it's a little wild to work with. Just spray your brush with some hydration spray, and then you can pack it, and it won't move on you. Open for me. Open. Cute. If I had the gold dust, did I put gold dust on? Yeah, I think I did do gold dust. My bad. But I couldn't remember. This morning seems like so long ago. But if I had it, I could throw a little gold dust in there. Let's play with a little bit of liner. So I'm going to grab the emerald. I'm going to use, let me see if I have a tighter one. No, I think that's the best one I got. So I'm going to use my angle liner brush. Anytime I'm doing more detailed work with like tight lines or sharp edges, I love this brush because those sharp edges are already built in, and I don't have to do a lot of work with it. I do recommend just caring for your tools, making sure that when you're cleaning your brushes, you're not blowing them out, because then you can start to see like this little stray hair. That'll be the death of you if you're trying to do black winged eyeliner. Green's going to be a little more forgiving, but you know, just the integrity of your brushes is really important. I'm going to have you look down. Eyes are just going to be open and looking down. Perfect. Open for me. Cool, look down. So I start under and then I go over and I build my wing outside first. Open. Cool. Hey Wendy.
Yeah.
Can you grab the Onyx Mystical? We're gonna do a double line. You're like, I'm more the natural girl. I'm like, cool, we're putting 5 eyeliners on you.
Like Jessica's gonna be like, oh, she's gonna have to go out on the town tonight with this new makeup on.
She likes it.
Open.
She's just one of those simple girls. Don't let her fool you.
When it comes to me putting on my makeup,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
someone else doing it, go to
Okay.
town.
Cool. Thanks, hon. So what I like about the mysticals with liner is you can do like ombres. So like you can do an emerald to sapphire to black. You could, you know, it's like super fun. You could do wings within wings. I'm a big fan of one over here. Sorry. Don't mean to put my belly on you. Any of the lip fixations, dump these out and wear them as eyeliner. See, liquid eyeliner, and they stay all day because they're a stain. So they're rad. So I do red wings, pink wings, and then I do a black wing inside. Or Kat Von D posted a red wing with a black ombre to it, and everyone lost their mind. So I was like, I can do that.
Right.
I grabbed Passion Lip Fixation, Black Mystical, done, and it was clean and healthy and safe.
All of it's interchangeable, right?
Completely. You can. Everything's an anywhere product. You know, winged eyeliner is one of those things you just have to take your time on.
So I get one side good and then the other side doesn't look so good.
So I hear that all the time, and it's the same for me. So I always tell people, do the tough side first because you're going into it with a fresh eye. What happens is, you know, when you look at the same word, like, you know, when you write a word and you read it over and over, you're like, that looks wrong, but it's right. It's the same thing. So if you do the good eye first and then you're like hyper focused on the harder eye, you're really critical of it. So start with the harder one first so that when you get to the second one, it's just cake.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because I do it to myself on my own eyes. I have the one good eye and the one wonky eye. This morning I got away with it pretty easily, but that's rare. Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't know where you were. And then also with the mysticals, I know some people are worried about transfer, especially going into our warmer months, worrying about if they have a deeper set eye, when they open their eyes, they get a little bit of transfer. So a couple words of advice. If you're using a black onyx mystical, just put ebony eyeshadow over the top to seal it. It'll kind of cut down on the fluidity of the coconut alkanes that are in there. But if you're working with a color like emerald or sapphire or anything else, you can just use the translucent powder and top it. Okay. Gonna grab my onyx now. I'm just gonna use the same brush. Now I'm just going to tight line. Open. So it just creates a little bit of depth. Especially when women have a light eye like you do, and then they wear like a color liner and then black mascara. Sometimes I feel like it can look like a little bit of a disconnect between the lashes and the liner. So I like to do a quick little tight line of black to make it a little bit more of a completed story of color. But that's just me. You can do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way. Open for me. And then, you know, if it was nighttime, I could go down and I could smudge it all underneath, but it's completely up to you. So, there you go.